yet another fresh face. My word, the mansion's positively overrun with foreign folk on this most inauspicious of Lucian's days.
He catches himself and scrapes his throat in a brief moment of embarrassment.
I do apologize if I came across as impertinent just now, and I hope you'll forgive my unabating boldness when I assume Milady has come here in search of an audience with either Lord or Lady Kem.
Come out, wherever you are.
I'm afraid I can't accommodate you with the opportunity to have a word with Milord Kem at this precise moment, Milady. Milord left early in the morning in pursuit of business, and he hasn't yet returned. I'm not privy to the details of Milord's ventures, but I gather his outing pertains to his office as Grand Master of the Paladins and the ousting of certain firebrands from the city. A most noble task, I'm sure. Unless I'm quite mistaken, in which case I once more apologize profusely, you'll most likely find Milord in the immediate vicinity of the Magister headquarters. The Magisters, in case my previous sentence lacked clarity, being the firebrands I alluded to. Oh, I meant, of course, the lizard excellencies that have sought shelter under this esteemed roof in the aftermath of the dreadful attack that was inflicted upon the Imperial Consulate. It saddens me to say there are a number of deaths to mourn, but no doubt we all rejoice in the survival of the nobles. After all, a mere clerk is so easily replaced, wouldn't you say? As you so rightly point out, milady, quite unlike a butler. Lady Kem is having tea in the drawing room over in the north wing. I'm quite certain a person as obviously well-travelled as yourself will have no problem drifting in that general direction, should he deem it fit to do so. Yes, do please excuse me, for I have a party of dignitaries to attend to. They've an appetite for an aperitif, and the port, needless to say, does not pour itself.
For heaven's sake, would you please... Oh, ever so sorry. I thought you were that rotten butler about to warn me once again to take the ocular, not the tactile approach. I swear I've a mind to beat him to death with the nearest dictionary I can find. Because that little snob thinks me unworthy of being in his precious lord's mansion, appraising his precious lord's collection of antiques. Just you try judging the state of a Vadistian armoire if you're not even allowed to rummage through its drawers. Oh, he's all blood and battle, all right. Until you show him a Ferolian snuff box or an ancient imperial fainting couch, then he's as giddy as a cat in a field of catnip. He knows very well I'm the best in the business. Asked me to value his collection personally. I'm merely appraising the many antiques gathered in here in this beautiful mansion.
A roguish little smile suddenly plays upon her lips.
What else would I be doing? My, you do drive a hard bargain, don't you? Very well. Consider yourself invited. Now listen closely. Rumor has it that Lord Kim's mansion is built upon a massive vault in which he hides his true valuables. His entire house is but a smokescreen for the real treasure hidden underneath. I've had no luck so far in locating this fabled vault, but if you do, I swear the entire hoard is yours. No questions asked. All I want in return for this information is a trio of curios that is said to be kept inside. The portrait of the divine, the cup of kings, and the scroll of eternity. Everything else is yours. A most satisfactory arrangement. Did you find them? Ugh, I suppose... Why, hello again. Lord Kim does have a good eye for quality antiques, I must say.
She'll find me.
What's this? I found something.
The flower is withered. You bend to smell the bloom, but it has no discernible scent. You take a deep breath, only for icy darkness to pierce your heart. The chill freezes your bones, then rushes free, leaving a single word etched within you. God-woken. The frog blinks slowly, considering you with shrewd and beady eyes. After a pointed pause, he opens his mouth, flicking his tongue out to catch an unfortunate fly right from the tip of your boot.
Another blow-in? And this used to be such a nice neighborhood. Well, where should I start? Lethal plants is pretty high on the list. Not to mention kids rampaging in the pool, splashing about, doing Lucian knows what underwater, and scaring all the flies away. I tell you, I've had quite enough. Quite.
With that, the frog turns his back to you with disdain. Three owls in the enclosure stare you down blankly, fluffing their feathers and blinking in turn.
Jimmy, prithee wake thyself.
The owl addressed as Jimmy lies motionless on the ground, looking for all the world like he's stone cold dead.
Aye, aye, buck thyself up, Jimmy lad. We art blessed with a visitor.
Spying some blood on Jimmy's beak, you pry it open to investigate. Inside, you see a human finger. A few sharp tugs, and you've pulled a severed human hand loose, partially pecked. You don't need to be a genius to surmise that Jimmy choked on his dinner.
Mom, quit thy poking and prithee leave yon Jimmy alone. Our lad will ruffle up his feathers in his own sweet time.
Deceased? Bunkum. Sweet Jimmy is just resting his eyes.
Man must be aware that one often needs a small nap after a large dinner. And Jimmy just ingested a banquet.
Jimmy? Jimmy? What is it we do?
Oh, blast and bother, Jimmy. Show some civility to our esteemed visitor, won't you?
Jimmy remains dead, uninterested in answering petty questions about the world of the living. As you gingerly pack the rotting appendage in your backpack, you have occasion to wonder, not for the first time on this journey, what in the void am I doing?
Fare thee well. We'll tell Jimmy you stopped by.
The spirit of the owl, known as Jimmy, hops heavily from claw to claw, squinting up at you over his bulging, fluffy cheeks.
I don't know what just happened, but I do know that I can't taste anything. And that is the worst feeling in the whole world.
The owl's eyes go wide and round as his roly-poly body.
What? What? No more treats from Kem? No more tasty treats? Indeed, and quite delicious it was too. Kem always liked me the best. He gave me lots of treats like that. Those others with their fancy names, he never gave them treats like me.
You are a talented thief. You creep through the mansion and into the safety of the vault. But a shadow looms, a paladin. Smiling, you give yourself up. But something pulls at your soul. A blade swings, your hand falls. The elegant owl mistress glances up at you from her papers, a harried look on her face. She nods an abrupt greeting.
Yes? Can't you smell the fine aroma of owl shit? This is the Owlry, Lord Kem's communications link with the rest of Rivellon. Right now, I'm sending my fluffy friends to mobilize paladins to readiness. War is imminent. But Lord Kem's a good leader, a good man. He'll protect us. I'm sure of it. I suppose he sent you for the latest news? I doubt it. That's probably just Jimmy taking a nap, that fat owl. He eats a lot. Poor lad hasn't been able to fly properly in months. Lord Kem feeds him too many treats, and who am I to stop him? Rivellon's a big place, darling, and all of it in a shambles. Where exactly do you want to know about? We haven't heard anything from Fort Joy in a good long time, ever since a group of renegade sorcerers escaped, killing Bishop Alexander in the process. I'm no fan of Magisters, not anymore. But I can't help but think that Alexander's death was unfortunate. Dallas is only making everything worse. I intercepted some Magister communications from there a while ago. Seems like their void-woken problems have decreased lately, but they're not quite sure why. Well, that's no surprise. Your kind of all three houses riled up in a frenzy. The House of Dreams are communing with dead warriors, the House of Lore drawing up new maps for after the war. And the House of War? Well, the House of War are in their element. The biggest news of the Dwarven Queendom is usually the location of the Queen. And guess what? Queen Justinia is here in Arx. She's staying right here in Lord Kem's mansion. Good luck out there. You'll need it.
sees no one.
The flower's beauty is betrayed by your memories of its sharp touch.
A blood rose bush. When not in flower, it barely sticks at all.
Come out.
How dreadfully crowded these rooms have become. One so yearns for the calm of earlier days.
Oh, hon, did you get an invitation to tea? You must have misread the date, my dear. My hands are already full.
I hope everything is to your utmost satisfaction, milady.
Yes, quite.
I must take advantage of the moment. We are only granted an audience by invitation.
A striking painting, and featuring some familiar faces.
Lady Kem sniffs with the pride of a peacock spreading its tail.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Possibly Ram's finest work. You may recognize the people in it. Alexander, of course, and your own King Gongi. Justinia, the Dwarven Queen, and the great elven seer Tiriara, too. The Quorum. It was here that they made history, in this very room, in fact.
Lady Kem smiles graciously and offers you a cup of tea.
The Voidwoken invasion was in its infancy, and it was becoming clear that the creatures were drawn to source. Bishop Alexander called the Quorum together. He demanded the elves, dwarves, and lizards agree to his plan. Gather and quarantine source users across Riverlon.
She takes a slow sip of tea, eyeing you closely just above the cup's rim.
The Lizard King, stately when silent, yet so great was his descent, I was sure his shouts would split the ground open beneath us. A travesty. Alexander sought to protect us all from a scourge. The fork-tongued devil would sooner usher in a dark age than round up the troublemakers.
Lady Kem grins, then pours you yet another cup of tea.
Then there was the Queen. Smart as a whip, that one, and just as likely to sting you. Justinia listened to Alexander intently. I'd always thought of dwarves as pragmatic. I presumed she would ally with him, but she proved disloyal. The dwarves would not be part of his plan. I had forgotten that pragmatism is usually partnered with stubbornness, particularly when accompanied by an overabundance of ale.
Another smile, and another cup poured.
Attention turned to Tiriara. Perhaps she would bolster Alexander's position. The Elvenseer. Her heart bled, she said. A millennium of memories warned against a pogrom, she said. She would not assist the great Alexander. No great loss, I must add. The elves are scattered to the wind. Their influence is as thin as a dying willow's twig. Besides, like any elf, Tiriara's head floats in the clouds. They tell wonderful stories, but live fantasies as absurd as any lizard dreamers.
She pours you yet another cup of tea with an elegant flourish. The pot is seemingly bottomless.
Ah, it's been a pleasure to reminisce on that day. Please do make yourself comfortable. You are such delightful company.
She sips from her cup, and you bow in farewell.
I bit the master Kim, I did. I could have sworn it was another man in a master suit, but it weren't. Now I'm in the doghouse like the humans say. I couldn't help it. I swear, it came all smelled like when the garden man cuts down a decayed tree, like he was using flowers to hide the rots. Only nudging and tail wag the next time, I promise. No licking, though. I don't want to taste the rot again.
Very generous of Lord Kem to offer us shelter after what happened at the consulate. Rare to find someone of such honor in this city, it seems.
Our consulate lies in ruins. Shame on this city for treating its guests so poorly.
Look out! I see a trap nearby.
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
Antiques and antiquities.
I've walked this earth, each vale and peak.
My friend here has taste. Get a trade, friend?
The gods love an optimist.
And in each place I've come to find my shortest friend.
The kin hums a melody, one you recognize from long ago and far away. It reminds you very much of home. An inscription at the terrarium's base identifies its contents as a wailing mandrake, a species you've not heard of before now. Not every detail is visible through the terrarium's hazed glass, but there is no missing the plant's trumpet-like blooms, perfect for catching raindrops, or insects, perhaps.
Gods, make it stop! Holy Mother of Divine, that's life! I won't do much sneaking with this in my pocket.
Sorry about that, but it had to be done. This plant has roots of steel.
The ring. Disband them.
The flower's beauty is betrayed by your memories of its sharp touch.
Do you know, this Ark's place doesn't look half bad.
Yes? I think she's a mad woman. She was there in Fort Joy, and she's here still in Arx. Yet what does she speak of after all she's been through? Nothing but death and domination. She has learned nothing, but I have. Live and let live, I say. Thus endeth the lesson.
Yes, by all means, let us partake in the art of conversation. A battle lost, a war begun. Dallas and that pet of hers are a force to be reckoned with. There is more to them than meets the eye. But what truly makes me pause is the fate of the Seven. How pitiful they were at the end. Think on it. Gods reduced to snarling beasts. So starved of sauce, it made them rabid. Think on it, because that is what we're fighting for. To be a god, knowing what a god really is.
So, this is where Kem hides his most ancient valuables. I found something. I've spotted something. What's this? I found something. I've spotted something. I've spotted something. under lock and key.
A dagger of pain shoots through your head, halting your advance instantly. You hear a voice, soft and calm, yet laced with disappointment.
Such a long journey you have undertaken, in the service of thieving charlatans, in pursuit of that which you will never obtain.
A long, sad sigh reaches you from the depths of the void itself.
This is your last chance. Abandon this folly. Leave and never return. I am the past. I will be the future. I am the God King. You are but a misguided servant. Heed my words and leave. I do not wish you harm unless you force my hand. Because my followers are many, my followers are everywhere. Your endeavors are pointless.
The voice fades away, and with it, the pain. Only the God King knows the weight of responsibility.
Good find. I found something.
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.